Mavlers has been in the marketing automation space for about 12 years now, and we've served thousands of clients and worked with over 2,000 agencies across 52 countries around the globe. And we've recently launched our signature 6-step framework for marketing automation. And I'm so glad to have Chintan Doshi, our head of email and CRM, with us to walk us through each of the steps in this framework. Chintan, before we begin, why don't you give us a history on how this automation framework came into place and what made you decide to create this framework?
Yep. So as you mentioned earlier that Mavlers is into industry by around 12 years, right? We have been into industry around 12 years to serve our clients across marketing automation services, where we have been managing their campaigns, automation across multiple platforms, and that makes us platform agnostic, right? So be it any platform, we are helping them to drive the engagement, ROI, and that's what Mavlers has been doing so far. We launched this framework recently, but it was core at the back end, right? So for any clients where we are driving or co-owning the engagement or ROI, we have been using this framework, and it has been working significantly for us and also for the clients, because that gives us visibility that okay, what are the challenges the clients are facing, at what state currently they are into that email marketing or marketing automation journey, and client are also able to see what sort of KPIs or metrics or success metrics they should aim for from email and SMS channel. We being technically working on multiple platforms so far, right, and the slowly and gradually we have received or gained knowledge on the technical platforms. We have started feeling that this framework will play an important role, both from a knowledge gaining perspective and also set a benchmark to deliver the basic automation task or campaigns into multiple market automation platforms or CRMs.
So thank you so much, Chintan, for clarifying that for us. And let's start with the first question, like what is the first step of our framework? I believe it is the discovery phase.
Yep.
Can you talk us through that phase?
So yeah, as you mentioned, the discovery session or the phase, what we will cover currently is the discovery session. We normally have a session with clients to understand the current email marketing or marketing automation landscape. Here we try to gather few information, which is more around what are the current problem statements or challenges using email or similar other channels, and try to bring out what could be the possible solutions. Secondly, we try to understand what is the current state of the marketing automation platform, which is MAP, and if there's a need to look out for other marketing automation platform or explore another platform from a marketing standpoint, or from any other tech stacks which is required from an e-commerce or pop-up perspective or subscriber acquisition strategies perspective. We try to explore such platforms during this discovery session, and then we try to go further and do a two-tier audit, which is more of email marketing or marketing automation audit, talking more of the current stage of email marketing, what type of campaigns they are sending, what type of workflow are there, what type of content they are sharing, what is their marketing metrics, if it is driving revenue or not driving revenue. That is the phase where we do the email marketing audit. And the other part of the audit is the marketing automation platform audit, which is more of if they are using all the features of the platform, right, like say using multi-channel flows if the feature is available, or leveraging the integration part, right. So if it is unexplored, we review that during our audit.
Amazing. So for those who don't know how long this session would last and all, could you just talk about how this looks like for a person who is newly coming to us?
So from our experience in past working with multiple clients, it normally ranges between 45 to 60 or 60 minutes, but it might drag to 70, 75 minutes depending on the type of brand and where they stand currently into email marketing. If they are an established player, right, who has already done quite a lot of email marketing and automation, then we might need more time to understand. But if they're just starting their marketing automation channel, then it might be a little straightforward.
Amazing. So this sounds like you are trying to uncover opportunities before you set up the foundations of your partnership, right?
So it basically sets the stage for the rest of the
Everything
things to follow.
That comes next. Amazing. So for people who are coming to us newly, Is there anything else that they need to keep in mind? Is there any prep required on their end?
Uh, Nothing like prep, but just awareness of the brand. Like, because as a brand owner, be it a CMO or a VP of marketer or director of marketing, whoever is the persona, right? They needs to be having that hand-on visibility on what are the expectations from the channel and what were the challenges they are facing, because these are the two main areas we normally focus on. So nothing like they need to uh, prepare before the call, but something which they should be aware of is the challenges and what are the expectations.
Right. So, do they need to keep their reports ready and things like that? What would make the call more efficient?
Unfortunately, we won't go into the detail of looking into the platform at the
Got it.
beginning of the call, because the idea of this call is to go out of the data, right? Have a different lens, uh, try to hear from the client directly, right, rather than the data speak on its own. We want to understand what the client actually feel about their channel, because data might feel the same or might be different, but we want to see if the client is able to see the success of that channel or not. So it's more of having a conversation with the client. Data would come into the picture, but when we do the audit, right, the audit we covered, there we'll review the data, and then we'll need to see whether it is working for them or not.
Perfect. So then we can successfully move into step 2,
Yeah.
that is a collaboration phase, right?
Yep. So the second part, once we have done all the audit, I've understood the challenges, have also identified what could be the possible solutions. The next phase is more of collaborating together, right? And we co-create and co-own a winning strategy, right? Which will be built mutually agreed, where we provide strategies and recommendation, and we also get that buy-in from the client, whether they feel they would be able to adapt or not. So that is more of creating a strategy and adapting it. And then the next phase would be more of, or in the collaboration phase, we try to have that strategy in place, the winning document, the winning strategy document. And then we cover what could be the possible benchmarking or metrics we should cover. Like, let's say we set up a timeline of a few months or a quarter, what things we will be doing in those quarter, what type of campaigns we'll be doing, what type of expectation they can have from those campaigns, what type of workflow will focus initially, and what could be the engagement metrics or ROI. So that is the phase where we cover more of draft of owning the strategy, things to be implemented, and benchmarking or expectation in terms of the ROI or results.
So a lot of places, this owning the strategy part of it and co-owning the results is itself is what is lacking, and I think that is what makes this a true partnership.
Definitely, our goal is to adapt their vision, right? Understand and adapt their vision, and bring in our expertise of delivering the outcome.
So after discovery and collaboration, audience analysis is the third step. Could you walk us through that?
That I feel would be the most important step, because here we go into the type of subscribers, right? Reviewing what sort of audiences they have, and lack of personalization and segmentation. If their brands are not having that personalization and segmentation strategies, and it's always going to impact their outcome, be it revenue or engagement metric. So here is how we normally approach while reviewing or analyzing the audience. The first step we do is analyzing the current state of subscribers, right? Like what sort of segmentations are that, what sort of audience bifurcation they have done, whether they have segmentation created, not created, are those effective, are they leveraging it or not? If not, what could be done in terms of segmentation? Then we move towards integrating the data, because as we discussed, there are brands who are on multiple platforms or multiple tech stacks. So making sure that all data is syncing into one, right, and unified view of the customer is or subscriber is visible to the email marketer. That is an important piece. So we try to integrate data from website sign up, social media, or let's say any co-branding promotions or approaches if they are doing. So making sure that all data is bringing in into coming into the platform. And the last part is more of segmenting the audience if it is not done. So we try to segment the audience by behavior, right? By, let's say, demographic, right? Or based on the products they purchase, or based on buyer, non-buyer, openers, non-openers. Again, these are basic level segmentation, but we also go into that advanced level segmentation of promotion-based segmentation, right? Or preference-based segmentation. If the subscriber has certain preferences based on product or based on the information they are seeking from the brand. So that is the important factor where we recommend segmentation, which the brands can adapt.
So integrating the data and then segmenting it sounds like that's a great way to ensure that the messaging is always targeted.
Yeah, so
The messaging line.
I'll summarize it into three ways. One is reviewing,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that we are aware of if there is any segmentation done or not, and if not, what could be the possible approaches. Then the second stage is making sure that no subscribers are left out, right, or we don't miss out on converting any visitors to subscribers. So that is the phase of integrating the platforms into marketing automation or making sure that synchronization is there among all the tech stack. And the last and important part is making sure that segmentation is done once the data is collaborated. So once you have a data collated at one place, you would be able to segment it in a better manner.
So campaign management is the next step in this framework, right?
Yeah.
Could you walk us through what that looks like?
So this phase is more around implementing your strategy into play, right? So whatever was concluded during the collaboration phase, that we'll be implementing explicit strategies on the campaign, the type of content, the promotion we'll be utilizing. That all comes into the execution during this phase. So we create a content calendar, the campaign content calendar, like what type of campaign needs to be sent, when we'll be sending it, what duration or what time we'll be sending it, what sort of expectation we are doing it from that campaign, whether it is more of clicks, more of open, more of website visits, or more of order placed, depending on the expectation. Then we focus more on utilizing the segmentation. So idea is during this phase, we'll be sending the campaigns for multi-channel too. So as we discussed, there are platforms who are having multiple channels apart from email. So utilizing SMS, WhatsApp, in-app push notification. So making sure that the content is synchronized across all the channels. So if there's a campaign plan for email as a channel, we also want to make sure that we leverage SMS and in-app notification, but definitely with a shorter version of the content, considering the limitation. So sending those is a plan of execution where we do it based on the content campaign calendar for multiple channel. And idea is to deliver the campaigns, but also make sure that the relevance and quality is maintained, because expectation from all the channel is similar, right? Because your campaign objective is not going to change. So if I'm doing a campaign for generating more revenue, let's say order placed, that is expectation from all channel. I'm just leveraging other channels to make sure that if some of the channel misses out, I have other channel as a backup to get the revenue.
Sounds like scalability and precision is what we focus on in this stage.
Precisely. So we focus on delivering error-free campaigns, but with precision, right? So making sure that those emails are making an impact. And to add up what you mentioned, the impact will only be considered if the emails are designed in a beautiful way, right? Because it's not always about sending emails. You also need to boil down to that level to understand that, okay, once the email has been sent, if they are able to open it. So making sure that right subject lines are provided, right preview text is added, relevant to that campaign, making sure that emails are aesthetically designed, right, or creative enough for the subscriber to review and also do the final touch point, which is more of a call to action. So all these elements are being managed by Mavlers because we have been into this industry from 12 years and we have seen this industry growing. We are leveraging this with the help of our 150 plus marketers and designers who has experience of developing roughly 2,000, 3,000 email templates every month. So this is an important piece.
So automation flow is next in this framework, right? So can you walk us through all of the steps involved?
Yep. So as we discussed about campaigns, right, automation is also an important piece because that sets the framework for delivering those messages across multiple channels for every action taken by your subscriber or visitor. So the objective of setting up automation is to make sure that relevant and right messages are delivered in the right channel, so be it email, SMS, or push notification. So here we try to set up automation workflows based on the triggers, right? So if the subscriber is triggering for, let's say, subscribing to your platform, setting up welcome automation series, right? Educating them about your brand, your offering, your services. Also setting up some time sensitive and triggered based automation for cart amendment or post purchase automation or browse amendment, which is more of if someone is abandoning a cart or someone is just browsing your product, right? Making sure that you send emails at the right time so that their actions or their objective of purchasing, you are able to make sure that you are visible to them before they conclude on making the purchase. So we set up those automations and also use the personalization, because nowadays it's not only about setting up the base automation. You need to go beyond basic, and that's where we use personalization. So having a separate content for buyers who has already bought, right? Having a separate content or personalization for non-buyer audience, right? The idea is, just giving an example, for buyer, they've already purchased your product in past, so that's more of making sure that you showcase your USPs, right? But with non-buyers, you need to make sure that you increase your, or have that confidence building factors, building that trust that, okay, why they should purchase from you. And that's where you can't have same type of content and messaging for all the different segmentations or segments you have created. So we normally refer clients to have a different type of content or messaging for different type of audiences. And don't confuse your automation flow by having a separate automation. It can be achieved by using dynamic content in the single flow. So leveraging automation in a base personal manner with personalization and segmentation would be able to deliver better result.
We used to be in a time where we used to think about automation as the future, but now it's the mandate, right? Could you speak a little more about why that timing of sending that message is so crucial and why this personalization is so crucial today?
Yeah, so answering to that point, now there are multiple options available. Earlier, when I was searching for a product or a service, the competition was not tough, right? Right now, it's like if I'm finding one thing, I'll have 4 or 5 options easily, right? Initially, or if we talk about years back, we hardly had 1 or 2 options. So the subscriber or the customer didn't have much option or choices to make. Now they have choices, right? So if you are not in the frame for your subscribers, right? If you are not visible to them, you might not be able to make an impact, and that's where automation plays a key role. So if the subscriber is coming on your website browsing or adding a product but is not able to purchase or not completing the purchase, now it's the time that you reach out to them in their inbox, being personalized, providing personalized discount option, or building that confidence if they are a non-buyer. That will help you to convert that subscriber to a customer, because if you don't do that in a timely manner, the customer or the subscriber is always going to purchase from other brands, because he is window shopping, right?
Yes.
So he'll be going into multiple platforms before making the final decision. He'll only take the decision who is going to give the best offer to them.
Amazing. That kind of targeting is what is needed today.
Targeting, but in a timely and precise manner, right? So there are brands who are not having cart abandonment in place, right? So setting up cart abandonment is one thing, but also making sure that timing is also important. So sending email quickly after an hour of abandoning cart will definitely make sense, because that memory would be still there for the subscriber, that okay, they would be able to resemble that, okay, I did went through the website. But after sending it after 24 hours or 48 hours, hardly they would be able to remember that they went through the website and abandoned their cart. So it's always about timing and also making sure that relevant content is added in the automation.
And we're finally at the last step, which is reporting and analytics. So why is this such an important step? And could you walk us through every step that is involved in this?
Yep. So I'll say reporting and analytics is not the last step, right? It's an ongoing step, because whatever strategy was identified, whatever was concluded during the collaboration phase, whether it is giving result or whether it is moving towards the result which we aim for, reporting would definitely speak about it. So it's an ongoing work. It won't be the last step, but yeah, in this 6 step framework, this is the last step of the framework. So the way we manage here is in the reporting and analytics, we try to see how each channel performs and where it stands against the strategy we collaborated with. So there are multiple channels, right, depending on the platform and depending on the client if they're leveraging. We try to provide the overview of what is the outcome, let's say in terms of the engagement metric or in terms of the revenue, where we stand as a whole, where we were when we started, and we also try to bifurcate it based on channels. Like if we have improved X percentage, what was the contribution of each and every channel into that? Whether we were able to get the maximum out of all channels, or there are only a couple of channels who are getting the best out of them. So in this stage, we try to go deep dive into data. We go deep dive into what is working, what is not working, and based on that, we also optimize and and change our campaign strategy. So if things has worked for us for a channel A, we try to continue it. If something hasn't worked, we optimize it on our campaigns and automation flow, so that we try to get better results in the upcoming months and quarter. And important thing which all the brands needs to consider is make sure you review your data on a every monthly and quarterly basis, because data will speak about the health check, right? Because that is the status or the health check of your marketing automation channel.
So it's not like a one and done thing. You have to constantly be over it. And that's the key over here, that it's not about just measuring the data, but how can we improve and enhance it over time?
Yeah, so it's not about just measuring, it's about learning from the data and implementing or modifying your strategies based on where you have reached, because it's a journey, right? It's not like you will be able to do and achieve everything in just one go, be it a quarter or a month. It's a journey, right? It's a journey of optimization. It's a journey of reassessing your strategy, reassessing your benchmark, and that's where you need to continue making sure that you optimize it.
Those tweaks are important. Thank you so much, Chintan, for joining us today. Thank you so much for sharing this framework with our audience. And for all of you who are keen to have a read through of this framework, we also have it in a written format, which is available on our website. So do check that out. Thank you again for your time.
Perfect. Thank you.